Welcome to NPT TV. I'm Randall Mauricio.
And I'm Tamara Furlansky. Fundraisers know the best way to engage donors is through multiple entry points. We'll hear more about that in a few minutes in our video segment. But first, here's some headlines.
Nonprofit CEO gets 10 years.
Feed the Children settles lawsuits with founder.
And donors want travel and dining from charity auctions.
This episode is brought to you by Global Cloud, improving lives through nonprofit web software and services.
The former head of what was the National Center for the Employment of the Disabled in El Paso, Texas, has been sentenced to 10 years in prison. Robert Jones must pay $65 million in restitution after pleading guilty to fraud involving government contracts and bribing government officials. According to federal prosecutors, he admitted to lying about his number of blind or severely handicapped workers to qualify for no-bid government contracts for nonprofits that employ such workers. The organization had a government contract to make chemical warfare clothing. Jones also confessed to paying off city officials for other contracts. Also sentenced was a former board member, Patrick Woods. He received 3 years and must repay $1.7 million. The nonprofit is now operating as Ready One Industries.
Feed the Children and its founder, Larry Jones, have resolved their differences and ended their litigation. That from a recent statement from the Oklahoma City-based charity. Terms of the resolution, however, as the organization described, are confidential. A spokesperson did confirm Jones will not have any association with Feed the Children, adding he has not had any association with the nonprofit since he was dismissed by the board in November 2009. The resolution is separate from the ongoing investigation by the Oklahoma Attorney General's office into possible violations of the law while Jones was president. Jones founded Feed the Children in 1979. As part of a settlement with the board of directors, he gave up day-to-day control in August 2009. An internal and family power struggle had been brewing for years, with Jones ousting part of the board in late 2008. Board members were reinstated after a court fight, but Jones and the organization have traded lawsuits over the years.
It's time for a quick break on NPT TV. We'll be back in 20 seconds.
At Global Cloud, we're improving lives through web software and services. Today, social media plays a key role in your success, and our donor-driven social fundraising and marketing software will grow your cause exponentially. With Donor Drive, you'll easily mobilize support through Facebook, Twitter, and other social outlets while taking the complexity out of your efforts. Let us help you connect. To make the switch, visit globalcloud.com today.
If you're thinking about having a fundraising auction or conducting e-commerce, listen up. According to Bidding for Good in Cambridge, Massachusetts, there are some brands that will pull in more than others. Travel and dining consistently prove to be the largest transaction volume categories overall in online charity auctions. Rounding out the list are entertainment, sports, health, spa, antiques, arts, and unique experiences. The top 10 performing brands by total units sold via Bidding for Good were Hilton, Marriott, Starwood, Apple, Starbucks, Nintendo, Cheesecake Factory, American Girl, P.F. Chang's, and Mary Kay. The top 10 brands with the greatest consumer interest as measured by bid volume were TomTom, Garmin, Dell, Apple, Ruth Chris, Macy's, Microsoft, Cabot Cheese, Ritz-Carlton, and Fleming's Steakhouse.
Andrew Watt is the new president and CEO of the Association of Fundraising Professionals in Alexandria, Virginia, the world's largest organization for professional fundraisers. Previously, he was the Chief Programs Officer for AFP as well as its Vice President of International Development. Watt joined AFP in 2006 but has worked in the fundraising community since 1993. He was Director of Policy and then Deputy Chief Executive for the Institute of Fundraising in the United Kingdom. He's also an honorary fellow of the Institute of Fundraising. AFP has been looking to expand abroad for the past 5 or 6 years. The organization has 214 chapters and reports nearly 30,000 members, mostly in the United States. At its last international conference, AFP sanctioned a chapter in Egypt, adding to its 15 chapters in Canada, 6 in Mexico, as well as affiliates in Hong Kong, Indonesia, and Singapore. It also has alliances with organizations in Australia and Germany.
Donors are aging, donor files are shrinking, and increasing direct mail costs are putting a pinch on fundraising margins. Nonprofits need more valuable donors. Studies have shown that integrated donors are more valuable to nonprofits. By integrating your charity's marketing strategies and connecting online and offline efforts, you can boost your annual revenue. Jeff Regan spoke about this during the recent DMA Nonprofit Federation's conference in Washington, D.C. The session was titled Making Multi-Channel Marketing a Reality. Afterwards, NPT caught up with Regan. Take a look.
I've come from M&R Strategic Services, where I'm the Senior Vice President of Integrated Services, Integrated Multi-Channel Marketing and Communications, after being at Defenders of Wildlife for 6 years, managing the online team and leading integrated marketing. And I think the main takeaways are that multi-channel donors are incredibly valuable. They're worth almost 4 times that of offline donors with no email, and they're worth about 2.5 times that in annual revenue of online donors. And that's just an annual revenue. Their retention rates are through the roof. And by pursuing integrated multi-channel approaches, one can dramatically increase the value of online acquired donors or online acquired supporters. One can bring in people as online prospects and use online telemarketing in the mail, and also, by the way, social media and mobile to convert them to sustainers and high value donors. And one can also take offline people, get their email address, and increase their value as well.
And hey, don't forget, the nation's best nonprofit geeks will be in Washington, D.C. in the next few days at the annual N10 conference. And if you can't be there in person, of course, you can be there digitally. And for more information, go to www.nten.org.
And remember, you can share NPT TV with your colleagues and friends. Just use the share options on the screen.
And that does it for us here today. See you in 2 weeks.